Hi, we are the drinkers, and for our health intervention, we are exploring how drinking more water can affect our physical, mental, and overall well being, as well as some studies and different tips into drinking more water. Water is involved in a lot of our everyday bodily functions. It helps with things like digestion, body temperature, nutrient transport, waste removal, and kidney functions. When someone's not drinking enough water, they might notice symptoms like headache, fatigue, dizziness, irregular digestion, or even feeling weaker during physical exercise. So, physically, drinking enough water really helps the body stay more balanced and function normally. For mental well being, hydration can really affect how we feel and think during our days. When people are dehydrated, they might feel more tired, less focused, or more irritable. The study that I used found that dehydration affects mood and cognitive performance, and rehydration helped improve things like fatigue, attention, and reaction time. So, drinking more water isn't just about avoiding thirst, it can also help you feel more alert and mentally steady. Overall, I think that drinking enough water is a good example of a small health behavior that can really make a difference in how you're feeling every day. It might not fix every health problem that you have, but it supports our physical functioning, our energy, our focus levels, and just our general sense of well being. It can also be something that people can build into their normal routines, like keeping a bottle of water nearby, drinking water with meals, or choosing water instead of sugary drinks. So, the main idea is that hydration is simple, but it still really matters in our overall physical and even mental well being.
Hi everyone, my name is Kedra, and for my portion of this presentation, I will be discussing an empirical article that actually studied an intervention to increase water consumption. This study was done a few years ago in the UK by Roger et al., and they found some pretty interesting results. To start off, they up about 100 participants through online recruitment and then asked some baseline questions, such as how much water are you typically drinking every day, how important is water consumption to you, and how successful do you think you'll be at increasing your water intake, and things like that. Um, then the participants were randomly assigned to control and intervention groups. Their hypothesis was that those in the intervention group would drink more water than those in the control group. The control group was simply asked to drink 3 extra glasses of water each day. Nothing crazy, just drinking 3 extra glasses of water every day. They defined a glass as 250 milliliters. So the intervention group, this was a little bit different. They were asked to pick 3 situations where they normally don't drink water and make a plan to drink more water in those situations, such as when they wake up in the morning or while eating dinner, while sitting at your desk at work, things like that. An example of this if when plan would be when I wake up in the morning, I will go to the kitchen and pour myself a cup of water and drink it. Before actually starting the experiment, both groups were given an educational quiz on the importance of water consumption. It just kind of went through all the benefits water has for your physical health and how important it is for to our bodies to stay hydrated. What they found was that making a plan in and of itself did not show a significant difference. In other words, the intervention didn't really have much difference than the control group. Both groups did end up drinking more water, but the intervention group was only slightly higher than the control group. In the article, the researchers discussed that they believe that the education alone can be a motivating factor. So, this is going back to that educational quiz that both groups took part in before they started the intervention. So, just even knowing of the benefits and the importance of drinking water alone was a important motivating factor. After the study was done, the researchers asked the participants to take a survey and to just write down their experiences and their thoughts about how the study went for them. And then they did a thematic analysis. So the researchers found 3 main themes: remembering, preparing, and drinking all kind of had a chain effect with each other. So the participants described that they had to actually remember to drink water, and that sometimes it was hard because life is crazy and it wasn't always easy to remember their goal. Another thing was preparing water. The act of actually, pouring it into a cup or filling up a water bottle, things like that, all that. And then if it was prepared, it was definitely easier to actually drink the water. So all these things were really common themes that the researchers found with both groups. At the end of the day, researchers found that having a sense of accountability was really, really important for both groups. And so some participants felt, they reported that they felt accountable to the researchers themselves, or they felt accountable knowing that they were in a study, things like that. And seeing rewards such as they felt better overall and, started to see better skin, things like that, benefited both groups, regardless of the intervention. So, how much water should we be drinking every day? Typically, the recommendation is 64 ounces, and that's about 8 cups per day. But this article by Barbara Gordon explains, well, that's a good standard amount. It really depends on a lot of different things, such as age, your gender, your lifestyle, like how active you are. It depends on a lot of things. So, for example, pregnant women and those with medical issues such as heart disease definitely need to drink more water, as well as athletes need to drink water to prevent dehydration. She recommends, just as a general amount for anybody, that women need to drink 11 and a half cups per day and men need to drink 15 and a half cups per day. But again, it just depends on your lifestyle and your climate you live in. So if you live in a very hot climate, you definitely need to be drinking more water to avoid dehydration.
So, so I'm going to introduce this slide with a story about Jennifer Strange, who lived in Sacramento, California, and she won a competition by drinking 7.6 liters of water. And during the competition, she obtained hyponatremia and died, actually. She got the tickets, but called out from work one day, and her mom found her dead in her bathroom. Drank it's about 2 gallons of water. Um, During the competition, she expressed she had the second bullet point nausea, confusion, and a really big belly. She didn't have any seizures, but she consumed it in about 2 to 3 hours, I believe. Way too fast. She got a water bottle every 15 minutes and she drank too much. And yeah, died in her bathroom. So overhydration, I didn't realize could be this severe. Reading about it was very interesting, but yeah, I will be sticking to the 3.7 liters that I need, and I will be keeping my wife to the 2.7 liters she needs a day. I know this slide a little bit too well. Being in football and basketball, being out in that hot heat in football, and also playing rugby, dehydration was a huge thing. Being without water for 3 or 4 hours and sweating and coming home with dry mouth and dizziness and not being able to concentrate during class if I didn't bring my water bottle with me. Um, I know the decreased physical performance is was a huge thing too. I remember the days of feeling like complete crap because I didn't drink the 3.7 liters I was supposed to drink every single day. Um, I have a bunch of my buddies used to get kidney stones a lot, and that would suck just because during practice they'd be paying him out. But even now, my he is dark, and doing this health intervention is actually helping me a lot. I feel like I have more energy. I feel like I'm a new man. But yeah, dehydration is a no joke. All right, let's start this off. Yeah, habits. So this, I got the 3 techniques, and the first technique I wanted to do was habit stacking because I'm actually gonna do this with my or with um my health intervention plan. Um, I've already used some of it. Adding, so I bought a really expensive water bottle, and I wanted to get use out of it, but the main reason I got it is because it's large. And every time I eat, I just I sit down and I pray, and right after I'm done praying, I drink my water. I drink from my water bottle first before eating, instead of eating and leaving my water bottle or whatever. So that's pretty much what habit stacking is. It's a habit you already have. So like praying is a habit I already have, and I'm consistent with it every single night. And drinking water after I pray really helps me remember um, what I need to do. And yeah, but it helps consistency, and it helps pair, you know, habit you already have with another habit. Okay, well, you might notice I'm smiling on this one because I get to do this technique with my wife, and social support and accountability is huge. It is, I think it's one of the most positively it gives you the most motivation to continue something, and being able to do it with someone really improves follow through, like it's talking about. And then the emotional support, it does reduce setbacks, but I think more of the physical support really helps with the setbacks as well, just because being able to empower someone to do better just as yourself um, really keeps both parties accountable. And the shared goal to drink more water. Um, I've seen weight loss in what I've lost probably like 2 or 3 pounds while I've been doing this, just because I'm drinking enough water every single day. And our moods are better, and it's really helping us to become happier. So, yeah. Okay, now this one sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Um, this is probably the hardest one out of all the three that I decided to choose, because I cannot stand tracking anything. I just would rather do it. I don't like being able to track something regularly and notice it, and, focus on the patterns. I just like to create that habit and let it just sit in the back of my brain, and, I can deal with it. But this can be very beneficial, considering a lot of people just need a call to action. Um, Call to actions are very important, but yeah, I really don't like this. I'm not really fond of this one.